Welcome back to Superherocuts. I'm your boy Jerry, aka The Watcher, with my co-host Stevie. How you doing?
Good, bro. How you doing, my man?
I am good. We're gonna get into our docket for tonight. We're gonna have what happened with the Fantastic Four screening. Mole Man confirmed to be the villain in Fantastic Four: First Steps, and Chip Zdarsky and Ryan North speak on the Fantastic Four. Black Panther video game canceled. T'Challa will be back in Avengers Doomsday, and why T'Challa is necessary for this file. Marvel Studios wants to bring back the Eternals. We're going to discuss if they should bring them back, and if they should, how they should do it. Then we're going to talk about Mark Hamill saying he will not return as Luke Skywalker. There will be a male and female villain for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Warner Brothers wanted Michael Bay to direct a Henry Cavill Superman movie before James Gunn was hired. And the Batman epic crime saga is going to have more spin-offs. So we hope you're pumped. We got a lot to get into it today. Let's get it. Stevie, how you doing, buddy?
I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to talk about some Fantastic Four, some DC. I'm hype, bro. I'm hype. I'm hype.
Hell yeah.
I'm lit right now. Let's get it.
There is an echo. When I talk, I hear an echo. Why is that?
I don't know. I don't hear it.
It's weird.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Maybe put your maybe go on mute and then go like not your mic but your speaker. Maybe just put your speaker on mute and then back up. Maybe that'll fix it.
Testing. Nah, it's still. When I talk, it's.
I'm not sure, but I don't hear it on like it's not echoing on the live stream. Do you have your like X up on your laptop?
Nah.
Is it on your phone?
It's so annoying. No.
That's odd.
You're hearing, because what's happening is you're hearing my audio, but I'm hearing my audio too.
Okay. Try going to your audio like on a StreamYard and go to your audio. And is your default speaker your Mac speaker?
Yeah.
Because mine's is that.
Hello?
I hear you. You hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me?
I think I'm good.
All right.
It's weird because whatever. We don't need to talk about it.
Wait, now I hear echo. But now I hear the echo.
I turned off echo cancellation on mine. Try playing with echo cancellation.
It's already off on mine. But now I'm echoing on your speaker. Turn it back off real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm good.
Are we good? Okay. Perfect.
Good.
All right. Sorry, guys. Technical issues, but we here, man. We here. Okay. So I want to talk about the Fantastic Four because last week it pisses me off how like the day after we do the main show this happens. I was like, dude, I wish this happened on Monday. But so what happened was Marvel Studios held a Fantastic Four screening of a assembly cut, which, to make a long story short, it just means that it is a non-polished, rough draft version of the file. And so a lot of scoopers were talking about it. And basically, a lot of people that walked out of it said that it was excellent. And then a few people, well, what the scoop says is one person, but I'm pretty sure some people maybe thought it was mid. But it had a lot of people, in our space kind of freaking out because they're like, Marvel Studios doesn't usually show movies early unless if they don't have faith in it. And then other creators were, saying that, they heard really great things about the Fantastic Four when it comes to Johnny Storm and Franklin and Galactus and Reed and Sue and all of that stuff. So I wanted to ask you, like, where is your mindset right now with the Fantastic Four screenings? And, just where are you at with this movie in just general, because a lot of stuff was just spewed out from the past weekend. We even had some scoopers recanting, and kind of apologizing for their scoop. So
I think it was a mistake for Marvel to do this. I think that they should have known how this was going to play out, and they should have saw this coming. It's annoying because I feel like every time Marvel puts a file out now that we always want to expect it to be good, right? Because that's what we're used to. Pre-Endgame, we went into Marvel files expecting to love it, expecting an experience. And post-Endgame, we're going in like, I hope this is good, Like, I even remember that feeling when I sat down to Brave New World and you were like walking out and I was like, is it good? And I knew you were a little hesitant because I know you. I know how you are when you text. And but I know you said you liked it and I liked it too, but we recognize that not everyone is going to like it. And aside from Brave New World, I think that's just been the experience going into sitting down in the movies to watch something from Marvel. And I, for the longest time, have expected to love this movie. I feel like this movie's special. It's got something that a lot of Marvel movies don't really have. And now it's like, oh, maybe it's not good. And even though everyone's kind of recanted their statements, it's kind of out there. And I've already thought maybe this movie is going to be a disappointment. And if this movie is a disappointment, like, this will be so bad for Marvel. If this movie is a disappointment, it is going to handicap Avengers Doomsday. It's going to handicap any future of the Fantastic Four in movies at all. Because this is going to be like the fourth time they've tried a Fantastic Four movie. If this movie doesn't work, they're going to be like, we've tried the Fantastic Four a number of times. That it just doesn't work when we make a movie of these characters. They're going to make sometimes they don't even buy the Fantastic Four comics because Fantastic Four doesn't always sell well in the comic books. I love the Fantastic Four, clearly. But I am always able to take a step back and look at things objectively without my bias, which, if you're here from Threads, you understand on Threads, where you should understand is that it's all bias and mental gymnastics. That's all it is. So when someone like me goes on there and says something real, it's so shocking. And that's probably why I get so many views on Threads, but not a lot of followers.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, but I still think this movie's going to be good. There have been a couple of really good signs over the past week or two of this movie, aside from this assembly cut. Also, the fact that Stevie kind of told me what an assembly cut was. I've never heard of an assembly cut, but from my understanding, it's basically an unfinished cut where scenes are out of order. It's not completely polished. But what's weird to me about the assembly cut is that we are so close to this file's release date that I'm hesitant to buy into that they don't have something past an assembly cut. I'm hesitant to buy into that the effects aren't polished. I'm hesitant to buy into that they don't know the order of the scenes at this point, and they decided to show an unfinished cut to some select group of fans, and those fans got to go out on the internet and say, this movie sucked. And maybe not all of them did, and maybe it was really only one person who said they didn't like it. But it's odd that Marvel did this knowing that that's how it could have played out and how it did play out. So I think there's a lot of weird things going on with this, and I don't know what to believe. I don't trust the people who are recanting statements. I don't trust the people who are saying assembly cut. I don't trust a lot of it, I got to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm in the same place as you. I just don't understand why they would do this. Like, you have the mystery that people are already buying to. Like most creators are talking about what's going on with Reed. And like when I talk to like a lot of people, like at church, in my life, I was even at the comic store. By the way, the guy that played
Second and what's it called? The one Second and Charles. That's the one you guys go to.
Yes. Yeah. Second and Charles. I love that place. But I literally got a text. Hold on, I gotta tell you. The guy that played the Hawk, like back in the day, his name is Ayu Ferrigno.
Oh, Lou Ferrigno.
Yes, he is going to be at our local comic shop tomorrow from 5 to 7.
Oh, that's
It's
pretty
gonna be
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna stop by and see him if I have time. But anyways, sorry. But so I just don't get, bro, why they would do this, because like you were so, as you said, you were so close to the release date. There's just no point, and there was no reason to release this. There was literally no reason to show fans this. And I do agree that this movie has to be done already. There was no way that I think that this was to show Doom. That's what I think it was for. I think the only reason why they because what it seems like nothing was done except that Doom scene, and that just doesn't make sense of why this whole thing is a assembly cut. But almost every creator that I've watched can tell me what happened when Doctor Doom possibly entered into this. So that's my whole thing, is like, I just don't, that's what I think it was for. But if that's the case, then you should have just showed that scene, because that would have got fans really excited seeing our DJ's Doom for the first time, if that is the actual scene, rather than showing a whole assembly cut of a movie that's unfinished. I think that's just plain out stupid. And I do have full faith in this movie, though. Like, I really do believe that the Fantastic Four movie is going to be good. If this movie fails, this is the worst failure that Marvel has ever had. And the reason why this is the worst failure of all, because you have popular actors. Like, this isn't like you're casting nobodies. You have people that are well known in our society, like Joseph Quinn, Pedro. Like, those are two big names, you know what I mean, in the culture in general. And so that would be bad. But I don't necessarily think this movie is going to fail, but that would, I just cannot think of why you would show an assembly cut. Like, this isn't like the Flash, where Ezra battled, a bunch of legal trouble, so people were trying to boycott the file. So they showed it just to show fans, like, hey, we're trying, like, this isn't bad. Like, DC had a reason to show the Flash that close to the release date. The Fantastic Four, honestly, bro, they have no reason. I mean, people were mad at the female Silver Surfer, but people weren't throwing away the file because of it. You know what I mean? It, like, there was really no provoking reason to do this, other than Superman getting traction, or you were really scared that this movie could fail.
The time to do this was like 8 months ago, not right now. Especially, it's like, it's a weird year for Marvel, because I really expected all bangers. I expected Brand New World to be a banger and a W. We consider it a good movie, but we know it's not a W. Now, we expected Thunderbolts to be good. It was much better than we expected, but we didn't think it was going to flop. And now we have Daredevil, which was great, but it was a flop. Didn't even chart on Nielsen, which is crazy.
Wow,
and we should talk about that too, by the way. But we're going to talk about that actually with all the Disney Plus shows. We'll throw it in that. So
for sure,
and now they're dealing with an assembly cut, and now they're going to also have to deal with releasing Ironheart, which we know is not going to be good. Hopefully it is. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I just seems like they have no confidence in it, and I'm not confident in it.
And Ironheart.
Yeah, and Ironheart. They need to position themselves to be in a position where everyone's like, oh, Marvel is on fire right now. Avengers Doomsday is going to be amazing. Because you have to think about this, okay? Now, Captain Marvel came out when Marvel was on a hot streak. Like, Captain Marvel is a perfect example of a perfect storm. Some of the stars are in any success, and you may have heard me say this before. There are some of the stars that are in your control. There are some of the stars that are not in your control, and you need those stars to align. Captain Marvel was a $1 billion movie. It wasn't even that good. I liked it. I feel like I'm one of the few people that actually liked that movie. But I think that a lot of the reason for its success is because Marvel was just putting out so much heat. Granted, it was also the first female superhero-led movie in the MCU. It came out during the big Me Too feminist, social commentary era, which I think helped it. And, but I do think a lot of that was, and I'm saying that because I'm saying it's not 100% that success wasn't based on Marvel being on a hot streak at the time, but it was a large part of it. It's not like if that movie wasn't going to do $1 billion off of Me Too and feminism ticket sales alone. It was important because it was an MCU movie that was also female-led. And both of those things worked in tandem with each other for that movie to be successful. And my point is that if Fantastic Four flops, and like that's one of the big connective multiverse movies that's going to bring us into Avengers Doomsday. Imagine this. Imagine Fantastic Four comes out and it sucks, and Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out and it sucks. What do you think the excitement's going to be over Avengers Doomsday? Like, seriously, you think people are going to be – it's going to be much more exciting if those movies are good and people love those movies. So these movies are imperative for the success of Avengers Doomsday, because the other thing with Avengers Doomsday is, what Marvel absolutely can't have? An Avengers movie come out and flop. If an Avengers movie flops, the MCU will forever be different. It will never be the same. It will never return to its glory days, because that brand prestige will have been worn down to a point of no return.
Yeah. See, like, I think that I put Avengers Doomsday kind of outside of everything, because people are gonna. I can firmly stamp this, and I firmly believe this. People will show up for the big events. I think that Doomsday is just, there's too much going on there. There's too many big, because Doomsday has balls, man. That's why I think Doomsday is going to work. And for the Fantastic Four to be good, man, they gotta have balls. You know what I mean? You have to really go for it, and not also do you really have to go for it, but it's word of mouth. Like, when the MCU, as you said, when it was in its prime, it was also hardcore fans taking their mom to see it, taking their aunt to see it, taking their dad to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Marvel, like a Marvel movie was a family event. Like, what I'm saying, for a lot of people. And I think that a movie like Fantastic Four and Spider-Man can rekindle that love, because, I think the Fantastic Four can do that. But Spider-Man is really going to have people bringing back their moms and aunts and uncles. But as you said, both of these movies have to hit, and the plots have to be great, and they have to hit on all cylinders. And I think timing matters, and I really think with Superman also, I think this is the perfect time for a movie to boom. This is the perfect time. Like, I'm looking at Lilo and Stitch that right now is at $600 million box office. Like, in a freaking weekend, bro. In a weekend. It is Monday, and honestly, it's probably made more at this point. They've made $600 million in a weekend. Okay. And mind you, Lilo and Stitch, like, their budget wasn't that much either, I heard. So, like, there is something there for fandom to see it. But when you sin, aka when you do dumb stuff with your IP, you have to pay for those sins. And Marvel right now is paying for the sins that they've committed for these past couple years. And the question is, will these sins leak into the Doomsday connections, like Fantastic Four, Spider-Man Brand New Day, leading into Doomsday? And that's the question that, we don't really have an answer to. We just have to see it kind of unfold as time goes on.
The way I see it is that Fantastic Four and Brand New Day are the MCU's opportunities to recuperate and bring the fandom back to a point where the MCU can have us walking into the theaters being like, the MCU is back. I'm expecting to love this movie, rather than going in being like, is it good? Because if the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man come out and they're not good, and or they flop, and fans are walking into Avengers Doomsday saying, I hope it's good, that's a problem, and it will reflect in box office.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Lilo and Stitch or whatever they call the remake. First of all, the trailer looked amazing. I've never seen Lilo and Stitch, and I even saw that trailer, and I'm like, damn, I kind of want to watch this movie. Yeah, I swear to God, I don't watch Disney anything. I mean, I watch Disney because of Marvel and Star Wars, but like, I don't watch like the Disney movies. You know, nothing wrong with it if you do. I just don't. But sure. I'm gonna watch Lilo and Stitch when it comes out on Disney Plus. I'm definitely want to see it, but it sells to a very different audience. And Thunderbolt's box office was like what, 200 million. So
no, they did. They finished at 3 something.
Okay, so the global box office then. But even still, you know, I think they did 3 something. I think the budget was 180 or 200. I was arguing with it about someone on of course, who, you know, so you get all the people who virtue signal and they're like, be kind, and they're like the biggest jerks in the world. It's like, you are such a hypocrite that you are clinically insane to have that level of hypocrisy. You know, it's like in a horror movie where they're like, be kind, and then they take out a gun and shoot someone, and they go back and be kind. Bam, bitch, be kind. You know, it's crazy, man.
I'm crying. You're hilarious.
Clown world, but yeah, I still think Fantastic Four is going to be good. I am really excited for this movie, and it is, you know, I have my concerns now, but I still, if I had to bet on it, I think it would be good. Obviously, we heard about the post-credit. Should we get into it? I don't know. We got a couple people in here right now. I don't want to throw out a spoiler.
You know what, guys? We will possibly do it if you guys want to. We'll do a separate video on it just to be safe for spoiler. For you guys.
I will say, once again, I'm going to take a big W, because if you've been watching the show, it's technically a spoiler, because what I predicted to happen in the post-credit scene for this file is happening. So,
amen to that.
And I called that like 2 years ago. So yeah. All right. I'm ready to get on to the next topic if you are.
All right, bet. Now let's get it. Yep. All right. Now, good news here. By the way, that art is fire with Dr. Doom and the Mo-Man. Okay. So Mo-Man is confirmed to be the villain in Fantastic Four first steps. The cast they've been doing, by the way, Marvel's been killing with their promo for the Fantastic Four. Like, I saw a clip of them waving on the floor. It was so fire. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure Joseph Quinn is the one that said this in an interview, that Mo-Man is the big bad that they're facing against. Does this shock you that Mo-Man is the big bad, even though, you know, they've tried to show us like Galactus is the bad guy?
They're saying Mo-Man's the big bad.
Well, I don't want to say the big bad, but Joseph Quinn in an interview basically said that Mo-Man is the villain in Fantastic Four.
No, it's not surprising. First of all, I expected this because of Paul Walter Hauser, who I love. He is amazing. He is so funny. He's personable. The guy is awesome. He was in this show called Kingdom that I really love. And Frank Grillo was like the main star of that show. It was just awesome. That's the boxing show I told you, or no, MMA show I told you to watch. Yeah. And your friend Austin, I think, would like it too. But anyway, so Mo-Man is a great character. And if you are like a fan of Fantastic Four and you read Fantastic Four, you would 100% be familiar with Mo-Man. Mo-Man is like one of their top rogues. He is involved in so many of the stories. He's a classic Marvel villain, and he is like one of the OGs. I'm pretty sure his first appearance was Fantastic Four issue number 1. But basically, you know, he's like a scientist and an outcast, and he was kind of shunned out for his appearance, but he discovers this subterranean world, which is known as Subterranea, and he becomes the ruler of the Moloids, which is like this race of underworld dwellers. He doesn't have any super powers, but he's a genius strategist, and he's like the leader of the Moloid. So he directs them to do some crazy stuff, but he uses tech and obviously is very commanding. He's just like a classic pulp villain. He's kind of like tragic, but brilliant and bitter. I think he's going to be great. And I think Paul Walter Hauser is going to knock this out of the park.
Yeah, there is nothing that people love more than like these bad guys that are like rejected by society. They're a recluse, but they're super smart, and that's what Man is. And I'm more than sure they're gonna add some comedic stuff to it as well. There's a show that I used to watch called the Superhero Squad show, and it's basically like a troll of all the Marvel characters. It's so funny. Like it's not funny, but it's just stupid. You know what I mean? And Man is like the funniest character, bro. Because like so in the show, Man works for Dr. Doom, and Man like messes up every time. So like every time Dr. Doom like wants him to like do something, he just ruins everything every time. And Dr. Doom's always like shooting blasters at him. So like I can't wait to see him, bro. I think it's going to be really fun. Yeah, I think he's going to be really funny.
He looks so funny in that picture with Namor, Annihilus, and Doom. Like he's just like
he's so stupid. I love it, bro. I love it. Yeah. I think it's going to be funny. I think it'll be funny. And I also love how. Wait, Sam, go ahead.
If there's a Mole Man like Marvel Legends action figure, and I'm not even a big action figure guy. I have like 3 or 4, and they're like sitting around. I think I got like Kang here, but whatever. Anyway, but I would want. I don't know, the Fantastic Four toys. I kind of want a couple of them, even though they're just going to sit around my apartment doing nothing. That's why I never understood like collecting action figures. I guess it's cool if you have like a display case of like a bunch of hot toys. But at the same time, like the cost of the hot toys to put a display case together of them is just like I would rather put that money into like technology or comic books or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I love Pops, because Pops aren't as expensive, but it's like a fun hobby. But I feel like I'm running out of space over there, so I need to
that makes sense, because it's like an artsy figure that's like meant for display, and they're cool, and the head is big, so it's like eye catching. That's different.
Keep that Human Torch though. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, but the issue is that like Marvel has. Oh, that's hard. That's hard. Wait. Can you show that again? Oh my god, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got the cape. You can barely see it.
Oh, because green screen. That's fire. But the issue is that like Marvel has like the best Pops, so like all I buy is Marvel, and like DC, like I pre-ordered the Superman Pop. Oh, I also have. So I'm gonna show you this one too. I know you'll love. I got this red. This is Hal in the freaking red lantern suit.
That's fire.
Yeah. But like,
if there's any ring to get him in other than green, it's red.
By the way, that was after you that was after you had me read those freaking green you got me read those comics, and I literally went and searched. I was like Green Lantern and Funko Pops, and then there was one in Target, and I was like, I have to get it.
I gotta get a shelf and get some Pops.
Oh yeah, bro, it's fire. It's fun, and it's not expensive. You know what I mean? Like the most you'll pay is like $25. It's not bad.
That's what's like reasonable about it.
Mm-hmm.
And but anyway, Mole Man's gonna be great. Like that's the thing. There's things like this when I find out that it's obviously Paul. They didn't confirm it's Paul Walter Hauser, but of the cast, like it's clearly Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah.
And when I found out actors like Paul Walter Hauser, Joseph Quinn, the guy who played Micro in Punisher, is the Thing, and the cast is great. I don't like the female Silver Surfer, but I love that actress, and I know she's going to do a good job. And a lot of people know her because Ozark is a very popular show, which was amazing. What's up? Welcome, Movie Talk Now, David. That's my guy on X.
What up?
Yeah, so I think this show, I think this movie's going to be good. I really do. It's just that when they say it always looks like the movie's going to be good, and then it comes out and you're going to see it, and on Twitter, everyone's saying the movie's not good. So it's
100%.
annoying that they did that. I really wish they didn't do that.
Smiles, Frown, shout out to you for being a member for 2 months.
Thank you, brother.
Mo Man, unironically best Fantastic Four villain. Woo-hoo! So you're hyped for it, bro.
Yeah.
Superhero Squad is a banger, bro. I need to like rewatch it, bro. That show is really stupid, and this is why, y'all. I cannot wait until like my son can like understand at least like shows, because that's a show I'm gonna have one. That show is so funny. Okay, the director of Fantastic Four first steps that he took. Yes, we are going to talk about this, bro. Yes. Dang, I missed start. Wish you guys did overlap with Slab show, man. Shout out to our boy Slab. Hey, man, no worries, bro. You can always rewind back, man. No worries. I like the figures based off certain comics. I have OG Iron Man design from the 60s. It looks gorgeous. I'll have to take a look at that. I've never seen the hot toy one. What about Superhero Squad? I know, right? Great show. If the Fantastic Four fought in a free for all, it would go down in this order. Hey, what's the order? Smiles from Superhero Squad, the gym. Facts. Superherocuts. Should Fantastic Four be moved to a different month? No, because when Superman comes out, there is a week in between it. I'm pretty sure.
Like 2 weeks. Superman is July 11th, and Fantastic Four is July 25th. So it's a full 2 weeks, and they can't move. It would be such a bad look to move it now. Yeah. Like, you have to understand that the cinemas and the theaters and the industry all pay attention to every move that these companies make. And it's not just based on what fans think. And because of that, like, that's why I say, like, Ironheart, you could tell they're not confident in it, you know?
Yeah, that will make Marvel Studios look really bad. Look bad. Yeah. And honestly, not saying that they're gonna, because they're not coming out on the same day, but Superman and Fantastic Four gives me like the I think it was called Barbieheimer. Like, it gives me those vibes where like Oppenheimer and Barbie both dropped on the same day, but like they're dropping near each other. But like 90% of the people that I know and that I've talked to and like that I've seen online that are not hardcore fans, they're seeing both. You know what I mean? And I think both of these movies are going to be events. And like even the people I know that said it sucks, they're still going to go see it. Like, it's crazy.
Even the Snyder cult is going to go see it. And the other thing is that Jurassic World Rebirth comes out July 2nd. So all of these files are coming out pretty much within 2 weeks of each other, which gives plenty of time. And I think that a lot of thought probably went into this, because that means that you're going to have a good amount of times in Dolby, IMAX, ScreenX, and all that other stuff.
And it's also super smart as well, bro, because July is vacation time for a lot of families. And what better to do on a vacation when you got kids than taking them to see a Marvel or a DC file? I mean, it's July is such a great month to do stuff, like this. And or like if you have family visiting in town, you don't got nothing to do. July is like one of the best months to do a movie. And August, I think like July and August are perfect months. And then obviously the holidays like Christmas. And quick off topic, bro, I didn't know how many people go to the movies around holiday time. It's actually crazy.
Well, that is why Marvel moved the Avengers movies to that time. Spider-Man No Way Home did $1.9 billion on a December 17th release date.
Ooh, that's crazy, dog. Ooh. All right. We're gonna read a couple chats before we get to the next topic here, because I know Hungry said some stuff earlier. I hope this movie is great, but the recent flops with the Marvel's Cap, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts, along with the Fantastic Four track record in movies, do you think it's possible that this movie flops? Hopefully not. I don't think so. I mean, anything's possible, but I don't think it's going to flop though.
Yeah, let me reread that one.
Yes, sir.
This movie is great. I don't think this movie is flopping. I really don't. I think that there is enough star appeal in the cast. I think Fantastic Four is enough of a big name. I kind of agree with Stevie. I hate the word Barbenheimer, but I do think these movies all coming around out around the same time is going to help each other. And, you know, I think there's a lot of hype on this movie. I think this movie is going to do well. And if it doesn't do well, I don't see it doing under 500. I really don't. And by the way, the projections, I'm pretty sure the industry projections are 750 to 900. I'm pretty sure that's where like the average window is on the industry projections. Having said that, I don't always trust those because it's the same thing I say about like the buying picks for sports games, for gambling. It's like it's someone's entire career and they still don't get it right. So like, you know,
yeah.
But but my point is, if the window that they're expecting is 750 to 900, I don't see it doing under 500. And if it does, you know, you could toss the projectionists out the window. This like the people who try to gauge the elections in our country, who are always wrong too.
Yeah, and also like another thing that has to be talked about. Pedro needs this movie to do great, and not a lot of people are saying this, but Pedro needs a high grossing file. Okay, now he has two big possible ones. The first one is Mando and Grogu. I think that's going to do good because whatever. But the Fantastic Four is his ticket to number one being very wealthy, because if this does well, then he's secure for probably the next 10 years. And just imagine the amount of Brady's going to make. But also the movies that he's done, like yes, Pedro is in a lot, but Pedro has done well in TV shows and series, but he has not had a movie that has blown above and beyond. Even Gladiator 2, as great as he was in that movie, did not blow beyond. So the Fantastic Four is his ticket to you know, to take it to another playing field for him as an actor.
Much more than Mando, Mandalorian, and Grogu, because keep him, like, for reference, Robert Downey Jr. was smart to make sure when he played Iron Man, and this was him, he made sure that he was in the suit a lot, but for a lot of the time that he was in the suit, he had the helmet off. He wanted his face to be visible for a solid amount of screen time. And it obviously worked wonders for him. On the other side of that coin, if Pedro Pascal's Mandalorian movie does amazing and he has the helmet on for most of the movie, it's not going to be as big of a boost to his own personal fame and stardom as much as Fantastic Four would, where he doesn't have a helmet on.
Exactly, because, you know, Grogu is the draw, not necessarily Mando. So you are right about that. Yeah, but
that's another part of it, but yeah.
Yeah, true. But no, you are 100% correct. Like, Fantastic Four is his ticket to becoming, like, people think he's a list actor already. In series he is, not in movies. Okay, I'm just being real. He is not a list actor.
Big difference.
Yes, and he also has a rom-com. He also has a rom-com with Dakota Johnson and Chris Evans that I think has another potential. Not to do Fantastic Four numbers, but I'm saying it could potentially do well. But you got to understand, this is his big ticket. This is his big ticket. Nothing that he's done before can compete to this. And if this movie grosses $1 billion, I'm telling you, like, he needs this movie to do crazy bananas numbers.
That going to be trash. It's my first time hearing about it. I don't know anything about it, but I'll tell you right now, a rom-com in 2025 in today's climate where you can't joke about anything and you can't really make a good comment, that stuff's garbage.
I'm not going to hold you. It does look kind of gas, and low-key gives early 2000s vibes a little bit. I'm not going to hold you. Like, it actually does. Like, and I'm not even trying to glaze because Pedro has been pissing me off lately in his personal life. But anyways, but it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. But you know, but that is not going to be as successful as what he's doing here. I mean, so yeah, this is his ticket, and this is the same for Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss. Like, these like the reason why they're at all these press junkets and events is because they know, you know, this is their way.
Yeah,
So.
and Marvel needs them to be. They all need it to work for their own personal interests.
Yes.
All right. So what do we got next?
All right, bet. Let me see. Let me just finish his last comment here. The fourth time they try to f. Oh yeah, you freaking said that earlier. You're funny, bro.
Yeah.
I'm still not feeling Pedro as Mr. Fantastic until he proves me wrong and shaves off the mustache. I'm calling him Mr. Fantastico.
Yeah.
That was funny. Are y'all more hyped for Superman or Fantastic Four First Steps? Fantastic Four First Steps.
100% Fantastic Four. I'm just a big Fantastic Four are one of my top favorites. I like Superman. I probably read more Superman comics than most of the people that are going to complain about me saying this, but I don't Superman's not one of my top favorites. He's a cool character, yeah, but when it comes to DC, he's not even one of my favorite DC characters. When it comes to DC, I'm big on Batman. I'm big on Green Lantern. I'm big on Flash. I really like Arrow. A couple others in there, but I don't know, Superman, when it's new comic book day and there's a Superman book, I'll read it. It's never one of the books that I'm it's usually not one of the ones I'm running to read first.
I agree. And I want to be respectful because I do love Superman. Superman was probably my first superhero movie that I love or what's it, Star Wars? So Star Wars was my first love actually, but Superman was one of the first files that I ever watched. But I think I'm more excited for Fantastic Four because it's never been done right. It's never been done. A lot of people hit on Henry Cavill, but Man of Steel is a good movie. We're not going to sit here and act like a lot of our fantasies pause was fulfilled with Man of Steel. So with
you
Fantastic Four,
the same about Superman to the same effect because they've had a comic accurate Superman and they've done it justice, but we don't have a modern Superman movie that has done Superman right.
Yeah. But I would probably feel more of a way, bro, if we haven't seen a live action Superman in 20 years or since 2005. The Fantastic Four just is more intriguing to me because we haven't seen one in so freaking long. And I don't even count the Michael B. Jordan stuff as or the Michael B. Jordan human Fantastic Four is the Fantastic Four.
You know what I was thinking about is because I always said I wish they started with Green Lantern, a Green Lantern movie, or Batman for the DCU. But the more I think about it, I think that Superman was the right call because too many people think DC is always darker than Marvel and brooding and edgy, and that's just not the case. And I think that this brighter, more optimistic and hopeful Superman file is going to shatter a lot of misconceptions about what DC is and at the same time show people how great DC can be and how much more diversified DC's characters and slate could be in the future. And I think it's going to set a good precedent for the future of the DCU.
Yep. I want to read out the quick James Gunn quote, and he said this a day ago. He said, "I portray a character with optimism and hope, kindness, compassion, an attitude that values human life. The world he lives in is no longer as important." So that right there can show you the different vibe that he's going with Superman. You know what I'm saying? And if you and I'm not sure if you guys saw the freaking press joint that they did where Superman's picking up kids and he's talking to all of the kids on set. That's the vibe that they're going for with this movie. This is going to be like Man of Steel Superman. So yeah, facts. All right. Next topic here. And guys, we will always get to your chats at the end. If we don't respond, please don't take it personal. But we will always answer your chats. Okay. So Chip Zdarsky and Mr. Ryan North, both comic book legends. So they ended up speaking about the Fantastic Four first step. So I want to read two separate quotes. So the first one here is, "There's just a feeling on the set of care and imagination that just feels unlike any other movie I've ever encountered, whether it be Marvel or otherwise. Second quote, you can see the thought that went into the technology of the set. That something to me feels great. All of the details match up with the story that they're trying to tell. Now, I know you, bro, you highly respect these guys because they are really good comic book writers. So what was your thoughts when you first saw that these two were, on a podcast talking about the F4?
Oh, I was like, I'm gonna listen to that first thing I do when I get out of work. I did, it was great. So Ryan North is the writer of the current ongoing Fantastic Four run, and Chip Zdarsky wrote not Fantastic Four, sorry, but he wrote 2-in-1, which was a really cool series of Johnny, the Human Torch, and Ben the Thing after Secret Wars, and they were traveling the multiverse looking for Reed and Sue, and it was incredible. Like one of my favorite, most creative Marvel comics. But to hear these guys praise this set and the movie speaks volumes because they are two of the best writers in the game, no question about it. And if they're hyped about it and they think the care is going into it, that's awesome. I want to add that Jonathan Hickman and Mark Waid were also on the podcast, and I'm pretty sure they visited the set as well, and they said the same kind of things, especially Hickman. And Jonathan Hickman is the GOAT. Like, he is the best comic books writer of all time. There's no one that comes close to him, and his comics are just in a league of his own. There's no one that writes the way he does and has these big ideas and density to it. So, if they could appreciate it, because I think, the way these guys write and the stories they put out is just such high quality that I would expect their standards to be as high as you can imagine. So when I said before, when we were talking about this assembly cut and people were saying, oh, well, there's one person that said it was mid, and then everyone said that's not really what he said, and this and that. And I'm kind of nervous about that. It's things like this that restore my confidence, because these guys are the real deal when it comes to the source material. So to get their cosign on it is huge.
Yeah. No, this is a really, really big deal. Definitely when we're in an era where a lot of writers crash out when their source gets cooked, like George R.R. Martin, whenever they do something wrong with the Game of Thrones stuff, he's the first one to write an article and crash out. You know what I mean? And also in an era where directors are so cocky and they're so arrogant and they go and try to do their own things, like freaking Greta Gerwig making Aslan a girl. Hopefully that's not true.
But I don't even know what that is, but I'm sure it sucks.
Yeah, dude. Oh, if this is real, just wait till tomorrow. Anyways, but like, this is a really big deal, man. This just made me so happy that Chip and about to say Shackman, Chip and North and Hickman and all of these guys got to actually see the set, because I also think it is a big thing for these comic book creators to see things that they've written come to life, and actually be inspired. And it really seems like, and this will flow into our next topic as well. It really seems like Matt Shackman really knew what he was doing with the Fantastic Four, and the way that he speaks, it seems like he was already reading comics before he even before he even started to write this file. And it's wild, and it's still wild to me how you go from WandaVision to Fantastic Four. To me, it feels like kind of a big jump, and like you're managing managing two characters, right? Vision and Wanda. To go from that to these four is a really big jump. And something that you have said, something that I have said, is like, when you find directors like this, you keep them, you keep them on. And and Matt Shackman is just one of those guys where, like, if this works, you don't let him go. You keep him on, because the Russos can't do everything, and you need guys that care. And so the fact that they said this about the set and all that is awesome. So fire. Okay. Now we're going to get to the second part of this, where Matt Shackman talked about his inspiration for the Fantastic Four comics, and this is where he gives John Hickman a lot of love. So he said this: as we developed the script for the film, he said, I returned again and again to this epic run, thrilled by brain-bending innovations like the Council of Reeds, and riveted by the heroic standoffs against the likes of Annihilus. But it was Hickman's deep insight into the specific family dynamics of the Four that affected me the most. So could you kind of break down what Hickman means by, the Council of Reeds being wild and also like Annihilus, but I would love if like you could give like a deep dive into what Hickman touched on when it came to the family of the Fantastic Four in his comics.
Yeah, so the Council of Reeds was one of the best things storytellers do is put some kind of obstacle or component to their story that brings out the mythology of their characters. Kind of like Spider-Man in No Way Home, when the entire movie put his mythology and code to the test, where in the end he sacrificed his relationships for the responsibility. But with Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four, the Council of Reeds were really interesting because Reed, he is a very egotistical character, and he is someone who is troubled in his own ways. His family is most important to him, but at the same time, so is his work, and he's always torn between the two. And he ends up finding the Council of Reeds, which is basically a group of reeds from across the multiverse, and their goal is to solve everything. And he meets these reeds, and they're all troubled in their own ways, and they all have their own character flaws, but they're solving these major problems like world hunger and things like that. And Reed, when he realizes that he would have to give up his family to serve this greater good, he ends up turning it down. But he did spend a lot of time away from his family, and it shows that how much the Fantastic Four really love each other. And Jonathan Hickman also said that, like, if you're like, the thing about that rings true for Fantastic Four through all the decades in their comics is that on every page you could see how much these characters are really a family and they really love each other. What he also said was that when you are writing them, if you're not having fun doing it and it's just a job to you, it's not going to work. These characters are fun, and if you're not having fun with them, the reader's not going to have fun with them. And I think that with Matt Shackman and the practical sets and this cast and the press tour, I think it's very clear that they're having a lot of fun making this movie, and I think that's a really good sign as well. As for Annihilus, is that who you're asking about also?
Yeah. Just like, I just wanted you to just tell the fans like how important like Annihilus is to the F4 as well.
So Annihilus is like the leader of this horde that's in the negative zone, which he's basically like a cockroach man superhero, but a villain. And they are crazy. And Annihilus will usually come at the Fantastic Four from like the shadows. Like, he will come when they don't see him coming, kind of thing. And a lot of crazy things go on in the negative zone. It's like I'm trying to think of how I can describe the negative zone. It's like a negative molecule zone, and think of it as like another quantum realm, for lack of a better description. But yeah, so I think it was great. I think they made a lot of comments that made me really feel much more confident in this movie than I already did. now I have concerns because of the assembly cut BS, but like everything else that has been said is pretty much good. I mean, other than the Joseph Quinn's comments about Johnny Storm, which kind of sounded similar to Rachel Zegler about Snow White to me, except they weren't as egregious. And I don't like that they didn't use Nora and Rad. It's not a deal breaker for me by any means. And again, I really like Julia Garner as an actress, and I think she'll do a fantastic job. But like, we as fans obviously love Nora and Rad from the comics. And, of course, it's not what we're getting. I think it's kind of ridiculous. And that's why it trended on Twitter for 2 days or whatever. But these writers are the real deal. Like, there aren't any other. These are the writers so this was on Marvel's official podcast, which is hit or miss. I think that their podcast, like the people that run it, sometimes they have good scripts, but it's really about, like, I'll only listen to it if the episode description is intriguing and depending on who's on it. But it was clear that Marvel set this up, obviously, because it's the Marvel official podcast. And it was Jonathan Hickman, it was Mark Waid, and it was Ryan North and Chip Zdarsky. So all of them have, other than Chip Zdarsky, have written Fantastic Four. Chip Zdarsky happened to just do the 2-in-1, which wasn't technically Fantastic Four because, again, it was only Johnny, and Ben looking for Reed and Sue throughout the multiverse. But these are the guys that you want to put their stamp of approval on the movie. And that kind of respect shown to the writers of the source material is everything. Like, this is evidence to me that they understand that there is greater demand than ever to respect the source material, to do these characters justice, to make faithful adaptations. And that this was a signal of that to me. And I really love it.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything is correct, bro. I mean, like, and when people say that, the Fantastic Four is a start of a new era, I don't like saying that, but I do think that the details that is going into the Fantastic Four needs to be copied in other Marvel projects. You know what I mean? Like the attention to detail that Matt Shakman has, from what we can see, is incredible. It is incredible. Because even if this was a regular movie, like if there was no Marvel brand attached to this, I would still be interested in seeing it. Like if it was just a random franchise that we that we thought of. But I want to talk about a funny thing from Hickman's comic. So when you first made me read it, so don't you know the panel where Sue was in her think tank, or sorry, when Reed is in his think tank, and basically the first like 3 to 4 issues, Sue's just pissed at him because he's been working a lot. She wants to spend time with him, but then like she finally puts her pride aside, and he's probably not even listening to her. But she basically goes
like the message through the door.
Yeah, she's like, yo, like, I'm sorry, like I understand. I screenshotted it, sent it to Emily. I said, take notes from Sue.
Yeah.
I got crash out on, but it was funny. W wife.
Fun fact: Sue used to be Invisible Girl, and they made her Invisible Woman in John Byrne's run, which was in the early 80s, and they made her a more important character. Ryan North actually said that she's one of his favorite characters ever. She's one of his favorite characters ever because working with her powers, like, you could do something new every time, and every creator and artist brings it out in a different way. And hearing that was cool. I'm excited to see how they adapt her powers in the file. I think we saw, we all know that one shot where she's like this, but I'm sure we're going to see different variations of her using her powers, and that's going to be cool. They have really cool powers. It's going to be cool on screen. I know John Campea said, he was like, I don't think that you can make the stretching look cool on screen. So now I'm like really curious to how it's going to look. We've all seen that one shot in the trailer, but it was from a distance. It's hard to tell. I thought the stretching looked kind of cool in
same here.
Doctor Strange, but it wasn't really the stretching that I liked. I just love that color of blue on Krasinski's suit. That blue was so cool.
Yeah, fire.
It was like such a dope cobalt.
Yeah. It seems like they're going to focus more on Reed's intellect instead of his powers. I'm not necessarily mad at that.
Yeah, no. Oh, dude. So I think I sent it to you, I posted it on my story on IG. But Dano Cosmic, great follow. Yeah, he posted it. It was.
I know I follow
him. Find it, but it was. I don't know if it's an official Marvel shirt or not, but I meant to check. But it was a Fantastic Four shirt with like math on it, and it was.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he wrote like, and I think it says "solve everything" on it.
Yeah,
so,
that's fire. I need that shirt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
Before premiere.
It doesn't say "solve everything" on the shirt, but that's what he wrote as a caption.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, and then he posted the panel from the comic where Reed's writing on the wall, and it says "Idea 101: Solve everything." Yeah. And listen,
that's hard.
We don't just because they mentioned the Council of Reeds and Annihilus, that doesn't mean we're seeing them in this movie. He just said like he liked when Reed encountered the Council of Reeds and Annihilus, what that brought out of Reed and what we got to experience from Reed encountering those characters.
Exactly. All right. Now, we don't have an art for this, so I'm going to take this off for a second. Okay. So, how did Disney Plus hurt the MCU?
Okay. So, what people need to understand when we talk about this is that bandwidth and brand quality across the slate. Okay. If you don't know what bandwidth is, so when you think of your internet, for example, your internet, there's a bandwidth. And if everyone on the internet, think of bandwidth like traffic. If everyone is on the road, you're going to get to your destination slower. If no one's on the road, you're going to get to your destination faster. It's clogged. So when you put out so much product, you are clogging your bandwidth. And that's not always necessarily a bad thing, but if some of that product isn't good, now you're going to hurt other products across the slate, because now you have products that are coming out that carry your brand name that people thought that sucked. I didn't like that. It has the Marvel name on it. So when you put out a lot of product and a lot of that product is bad or a lot of fans don't like it, now you're increasing the brand width and damaging brand integrity across the slate. Another analogy I have is if you really like Abercrombie and Fitch and you're going to Abercrombie and Fitch all the time, and all of a sudden you go to Abercrombie and Fitch and you're like, I don't really like this stuff. You go there again. Man, what's going on with Abercrombie? You go again. Oh, man, I remember when I used to like the store. The next time you go to the mall, you might not even go. Same kind of thing here. And I think it shows when they put out shows like Agatha All Along and Secret Invasion, and then you have a movie come out like Thunderbolts. Everyone loves it. They pull unprecedented marketing stunts, changing the name of the movie on billboards and all that kind of stuff, calling them the new Avengers. And it doesn't really do anything for that movie in the box office. What happened to Marvel? Why didn't that work? And I think it has to do with the Disney Plus product. I think a lot of the Disney Plus product was really bad, and I think it hurt Marvel's brand. I think they clogged the bandwidth and damaged the brand integrity, and I think that it was reflected in the box office performance of Thunderbolts.
if I'm paying monthly for something, I don't want a week to week release unless if it's peak.
I agree with you, but it's never.
I know. I know. We are cooked on that point, but like, but like that is some reason, and I just think that for some reason, and look, I like Disney Plus as a platform. I don't mind it honestly because I get to watch all my Star Wars files. Brave New World is on there, so I watched it on there. I had it on for youth group on Friday because I wasn't there, so they had it on, like it was cool. But like for some reason, a lot of people don't think that it's a good platform, and this is fully my opinion. If Daredevil released on Netflix, those numbers will be a lot different. Just saying. I 1000% believe that it is purely the Disney Plus platform, which is why that show did not perform at all. And yeah, that's how I feel.
Well, I think Daredevil had a couple of things that made it not perform. I think number one, I think a lot of MCU fans probably maybe didn't watch the Netflix show because it wasn't MCU, and they're like, "Oh, well, now if I watch this show, do I have to watch all those 3 seasons to catch up?"
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it was also the MCU fans. It's like it's kind of new to the MCU, and maybe so. But it's odd. It is odd because it was so good. It was such a good show.
Yeah,
The other
it was
thing
great.
is they cut it in half. Apparently, it really was supposed to be the 18 episodes, and then they
Yeah,
gave us 8, and now they're giving us another 10. But I think it's odd because it was so good and it didn't do well, and that's where we are. It's a problem that Marvel is putting out quality product like Thunderbolt, like Daredevil Born Again, and that product isn't doing well. That's a big problem. And that's
yeah,
why we need to look at things and be like, where's this going wrong? And that's why I think Disney Plus, a lot of it, I think a lot of the blame falls on the Disney Plus offerings. And listen, there have been some Disney Plus bangers for sure. We got Loki, 2 seasons. We got Miss Marvel. I love Miss Marvel. I know Stevie did too. I still don't think a lot of people really watched Miss Marvel or gave it a chance. But that's what happens when you put out trash
yeah,
products, and like,
100%.
yeah. So, and I also think maybe people were watching it at home, and maybe parents were watching, and they, heard some of the political messaging in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and they were kind of like, "What the hell is this?" That's
That's a
possible.
show. That's a show. That's a show that I think hurt or turned a lot of people off. It seems like because Falcon and the Winter Soldier was killing on views, and then after that show ended, that's when I feel like it started to kind of like take down. Um, and by the way, Moon Knight's also a really amazing show.
Moon
I
Knight was
love that
great.
amazing. That's my favorite
It
show
was
that
good.
they've done. Yeah, that's my favorite show. So far. But yeah, bro, it's like, but yeah, I really think after Falcon and what's called it, that show, I think that's where it started to chew and just tank
Yeah.
down, which is sad. But hey, man, it was fun while it lasted. We'll keep getting there double seasons, and we'll see what happens. I heard
Yeah.
that. Also heard that what's her name is back, Jessica Jones. So
Oh yeah, she's
she was
cool.
on set.
Kristen Ritter plays a great job, but like, I don't know. Let's focus on getting people to watch Daredevil first.
100%. All right. Now let's get to the Black Panther video game. Any video game guys in here? Okay, so we're going to get some details on this canceled game because it was canceled. So it was in pre-production for 4 years. The main villains were the Skrulls invading Wakanda. The new the new system inspired by the Nemesis system was being built for this game, and the playable characters included T'Challa, Killmonger, and Shuri, all competing for the mantle of Black Panther. So, bro, how do you feel about this game being canned?
I'm disappointed. I was excited for this game. It's really also annoying because we want T'Challa back in the MCU so bad. It was like, oh, this is cool. We're going to get a T'Challa game. So at least we'll have that. But no, and I know a lot of people are complaining, and I think that a lot of the complaints are ridiculous. But like, it is crazy how many games get canceled nowadays. Like this wasn't always a thing. And I think fans need to understand that because technology has advanced so much, the one thing it hasn't done is made game development easier. It's actually made it a lot harder and a lot longer and a lot more expensive. So it takes a much longer time to release a game for PlayStation 5 than it did for PlayStation 2. That's why Grand Theft Auto 6 has taken so long. But there's a lot of Marvel games that are getting canceled, and it's crazy to see. We also lost the Web of Life and Destiny, the Spider-Man game.
Yeah, that would have been.
Sounded amazing.
We could make your own character. Oh man,
that was
big fumble.
Yeah, and there's another big Marvel game that got canceled. I'm forgetting what it is, but it sucked. I was really looking forward to this game. T'Challa for a video game is like such a cool character, and such a letdown.
Yeah, we still have that Captain America
1943 Rise of Hydra.
Yeah, which and the trailers are always more fire than the gameplay. So I'm really waiting to see what the gameplay actually looks like. Nah, bro, I feel like that because like I remember when I saw DC Burst Online and the trailer, it's just so gas, and then when you play the game, like these graphics suck, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro,
but I always feel like the trailers are better than the game. Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying the bad experiences I've had. So I hope that is good because I will play that, John. And then also, what is the other game I was about to say? Wolverine. Wolverine is happening still.
Oh yes.
And I did like the game. The gameplay for that looked awesome, where he was jumping in between trees and taking out people. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, man. I mean, look, the way I feel about this, I really don't care personally. I kind of forgot this even existed. The game I'm hyped for is the Iron Man game. I really want an open world Iron Man game, and
it's open world.
And, yep. And that's the EA game that I'm hyped for. Well, I'm gonna say, they say open world, but when I played Marvel's Avengers was also quote unquote open world, and it didn't feel open world. So as I say, man, I gotta see how this stuff like turns out, bro. Yeah. So we'll have to see. But Marvel's Avengers is a game that I love too. That was universally hated, so it's crazy.
Yeah, I hated that game. Oh my god, I hated it so much.
I loved it, bro. Like the fighting, like just because they had all of the MCU suits, it was dope. But like they never.
That's what I hated. The combat was awful.
Yeah. So see, like I liked it for certain characters, like Captain America's combat was fun, Iron Man's combat was fun, but like the Hulk, I really liked Hawkeye. But other than those three, and I like Thor. But other than those characters, like everybody else pretty much sucked.
Yeah.
And you just get bored because it's the same maps every mission. Like, anyways.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic here. Okay, so T'Challa. Okay, so there's a rumor that came out, and I want to talk about it because we are big T'Challa people, and whenever T'Challa is talked about anywhere, I will always bring it up on this show. So the thing going around by My Time to Shine Hello is that a second Black Panther is rumored to be making an appearance in Avengers Doomsday. Now, we have talked about this, Jerry, so I wanted to talk about this from a different angle, okay? So the different angle question that I have, bro, is what if, right, they plan on this being a temporary T'Challa, and then the fandom just roars for this guy to be the T'Challa? Do you think Marvel would bend and do it? And make him the like permanent guy?
I hope so, because if they had a moment like that, they should capitalize on it. Because, like, imagine all of the fans demanding something, and it's so easy to just give it to them. Like, you may as well just do it at that point. And this is not the same argument for Henry Cavill, because they have David Corn Sweat, so it's completely different. Don't even try it. I see your stupid arguments coming a mile away.
Good catch, bro. Great catch. You're funny, bro. That was so quick. Wait, bro. Did that just come to your mind now?
Yeah, on the fly. Yeah.
You're made for this, bro. You're made for this. Yeah, bro. I mean, I really do believe, bro, that if this T'Challa is in Doomsday, the fandom is going to roar. And they're going to be like, yeah, this, like, don't give us T'Challa Jr., give us this guy. And you're right, bro. They will be stupid to not do that. And I think fans want T'Challa so bad that they're just going to go crazy about this.
Yeah. I do think there would still be the fans that are like going to complain about it, but I think if now that I think about it, like if they were going to recast T'Challa because of those fans, you don't announce it, you have it come up as a surprise in the movie, and people would just be so happy to have T'Challa back. I think those fans would be won over.
100%. I mean, hearing those drums play, like I think fans, I think the fandom needs T'Challa. I really do. I think the fandom needs him, and you know, if you haven't read the comics, you're robbed of T'Challa in the more. You're robbed of seeing that rivalry, and we say this all the time because it's true. Probably top 3 greatest rivalry of all time in comics, and that Namor actor is also amazing. One of the best castings that they've ever done, by the way, and it isn't talked about enough how good he is, bro. I can't wait to see him in freaking Doomsday 2, bro. Oh my gosh, he's gonna kill it, bro. Agreed. He's gonna kill it. So yeah, all right, let's get it. Okay, so this is very interesting about the Eternals, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. So the story of the Eternals will reportedly continue in the MCU's next saga. So the question that I wanted to talk to you in with regards to this is, you know, number one, should they bring them back, and how should they do it?
You know, I like the Eternals, but I think Marvel has enough on their plate right now, and bringing the Eternals back should not be a priority or a focus. Like, yeah, I like the movie. I think it was good. I think it probably was a little too deep for too many Marvel fans. And it sucks that it is that way. But like, we're talking about the Mutant Saga. We're talking about the Fantastic Four. We're talking about the Avengers, the new Avengers. Like, we have so much going on. I just think this is too much.
Yeah. The only way this could work 2 ways. Number one, you connect them to the mutants, because you know the Eternals and the X-Men have been connected to each other in the comics, and you could do a movie event about it. I think that could possibly work, but wouldn't be your first movie though. Maybe like off of a build up of something, or you separate them and you put them on an Avengers team. So like maybe you take 2 or 3 of the most popular members and add them on a team, and you can maybe do something, you know, like that. Those are the only 2 ways. Those are the only 2 ways that I see it possible. Do I want them back? I actually really liked the movie, and I would like them back, but
I do too.
As you said, yeah, like great movie, but like X-Men or Eternals, Fantastic Four or Eternals, Avengers or Eternals. Like, I mean, come on, guys, it's simple.
Let's not complicate it, and you know, let's not bite off more than we can chew when we know most of the fans don't really like the Eternals anyway.
Exactly. And like what would piss me off is like some idiot in Marvel will say, "Oh my gosh, fans love Galactus. Let's bring them back." Like, no, bro. Like, this just stay there. Just leave them where they're at. And if you want to pull from them eventually, fine, but not right now, bro. Keep it. I think a part of the issue is too much was going on. And that is a great point that you said that Eternals is a deep cut, bro. It is a deep Marvel cut that a lot of fans just weren't really prepared for.
There's the gap that we always talk about.
Yeah, the inferiors. Exactly. Yeah. And but then they also didn't, and then Blade talked in the end, and then you don't make the Blade movie. It's like, what y'all doing, bro?
Right.
All right. Now we are going to talk about Jerry's favorite person on earth, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill is the most idiotic person I've ever met that I've ever seen on the internet. He drives me insane. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. So, but he's a legend. I love him for Luke Skywalker. Okay, so Mark and when you quoted this, I laughed. He was like, "Rare Mark Hamill W." I was laughing about it when you quoted. Okay, so Mark Hamill says that he won't return again as Luke Skywalker, and he says this: I had my time. I really think that they should focus on the future in all the new characters. So why did you think that this was a W from Marky Mark?
So we shouldn't be. First of all, didn't he also say something about new characters?
Yes, he said, I really think they should focus on the future and all the new characters.
Yes. So I think that that's what Star Wars needs to do. I think Star Wars needs to focus on the future and new characters, move completely away from the Skywalkers, move completely away from Darth Vader, unless they're going to do like a savage Darth Vader movie, which would be something that's new and fresh. But it's just more of the same from them or something new and whack. And a lot of people, like people on Threads, the app of intellectual inferiors, would be like, well, you said you wanted something new. So they did the Acolyte, and then you complained anyway. Well,
God,
we still want quality. We still want them to make characters that we like and care about. And we still want them to care enough about the Star Wars that they're making so that they don't contradict canon like they did with Ki-Adi-Mundi. Because that's a telltale sign that the people making it don't love and care about the source material. Even if you think the Ki-Adi-Mundi flub wasn't a big deal, it's a telltale sign that the people making it didn't care enough to handle it with care. And, they can make new Star Wars characters and new Star Wars movies and shows and still win fans back like myself. Just got to make it good. And that's not what they did with the Acolyte. So don't even try that argument with me.
Yeah.
So I was coming.
Bro, you were catching them quick today, bro.
Yeah.
Catching them hits fast, bro. I'm
just announcing it now because now I know people appreciate it when I do that, so I'm gonna do it.
That is a pre-rebuttal. That's what I was trying to do to you the last time we argued. And you was like, well, why do you have rebuttals? I didn't even say nothing.
I will hear the inferior rebuttals before they happen.
Facts. So look, Star Wars, Lucasfilm had their chance to bring him back. Okay. We got that fire scene at the end of Mando season 2, and the Book of Boba Fett could have brought him back. And they could have done a whole show on him, and Star Wars shows could have been booming, but they fumbled. The Book of Boba Fett was trash, and it ruined Luke Skywalker. Let me not say that, but it ruined his comeback. You now have the Ahsoka show season 2, where we are getting more Anakin. Padme is rumored to come back. We have a Baylan Skoll recast. People love Shin Hati. Thrawn is back. Ezra's back. Sabine's back. Rock with that show. Okay. That's probably the only show that you should be doing right now. And other than Ahsoka, everything else should be just put to the future with, guess who they have? You have Ryan Gosling. If you have Ryan Gosling committed to doing a Star Wars movie, where I never thought in my wildest dreams that a dude like Ryan Gosling would be in a fantasy movie like Star Wars. Never in my life. And to make it even better, Ryan Gosling signed to Star Wars in their worst time of being a fandom. So if a guy like that believes in what's going on, then you need to just literally pay him bonkers money and use him as much as possible. Screw Rey, screw all these other characters. You have Ryan freaking Gosling, bro. Like, bro, it's not rocket science. And Kathleen Kennedy drives me crazy because, number one, she always avoids theaters, bro. She's avoided theaters since COVID, bro. It's crazy. And then on top of that, you had all these movies that failed. What's her name? Patty Jenkins. She had a movie. It failed. Taika Waititi. That movie's been filled, but they keep saying that it's happening. You have two movies that are undeniable fire. You have the Ryan Gosling file, which should hit, and you have the Dawn of the Jedi movie, where we get to see how the Jedi first started. Those are two movies that could be undeniable bangers. Start with that, bro. The Dawn of the Dawn of the Jedi.
That's
where
sick,
right? And James Mangold is directing and writing the film, The File. Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, they could really do something serious. So, man, stick with those two, and then you figure out what happens after that. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, and they haven't been spending anything. Or actually, no, they put $500 million into Acolyte and freaking Andor. So whatever. Anyways, and you know, and that's how you know Star Wars is bad, or that's how you know Lucasfilm is so bad, because even though Acolyte is doing generational numbers, even Tony Gilroy won't come back.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, next topic here. Spider-Man Brand New Day. So you commented under my TikTok what people you thought were going to be casted. So I wanted to hear what you had to say about that.
Oh, about which I said which villains.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
So
Yeah,
I didn't say which villains I thought would be cast. I think there's two characters I mentioned, and I think one of them will be in the movie, and I think one of them won't, but I would love to see. And those are Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative is one of my favorite villains. He is just so menacing. His plans and like what he does are so cool. His duality with being a philanthropist is just like, that's one of the most realistic things about any villain ever, is that someone who is a major philanthropist and tries to appear righteous in it as is actually a supervillain, and he's like an actual evil person. Because if we know anything about the real world, we know that that's accurate. And the other I would love to see is Madame Web, but specifically Julia Carpenter. I love Madame Web. She is such an underrated character, and I would love to see her in a Spider-Man movie. And you know, I didn't see the Madame Web movie just because I heard it was trash, and I don't think Sony did a good job with a lot. Sony made a lot of movies about a lot of characters I love, but you know, so I don't even know if it was Julia Carpenter or you know, whoever. But
I'm pretty sure Sydney Sweeney's character was Julia Carpenter.
Oh yes, so yeah, but Julia Carpenter is dope, and like just the way she deals with the web of life and destiny and predicts the future and warns Spider-Man, like it is so badass. And they can make her fun because she's also like a mom, but and she's got like a girl who's in like middle school or like young in high school or something like that. But yeah, but I don't think we're going to see Madam Web, but I definitely think we're going to see Mr. Negative, and he is awesome. Like that could be getting a Mr. Negative Spider-Man movie. Oh my God, that is going to do numbers.
Yeah. No, I think Mr. Negative will be the bad guy, and that's going to be awesome. When it comes to a female, I don't know who they're going to. I really don't know. Like I just don't know. I mean, all I care about is Mr. Negative. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really care who they're going to cast as the female villain. To be honest, I really don't care.
She's also on the screen there. The red looking goblin is actually Menace, who was Lily Hollister, and she's got a crazy story too. She's kind of a cool character. You know, she was like setting people up and framing them. And she is Harry Osborn's girlfriend, but she had an affair or something like that with Norman Osborn. So she is an interesting character. And I think her dad was a cop, something like that. So she's definitely an interesting character, and that could be cool too. And she played a major role in Brand New Day.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. Yeah, bro. I hope that I don't really care as long as Mr. Negative is in it. That's all I personally care about. And the reason why I say that is because I think that Mr. Negative can be one of those bad guys that fans can kind of cling to. And number one, because of the Spider-Man games, obviously. But like Mr. Negative's a suave guy. Like he got money, he cool, like you know, and the influence is really there because Aunt May worked there, or she spent her free time there. You know what I'm saying? And so that also builds a emotional connection for Peter Parker. You know what I mean? And I would love to see something to where like maybe he does volunteer there in the file to honor her or something, you know, of that. Like I think that would be cool to maybe build some type of like relationship between him and Mr. Niggs, and then maybe when he finds out that he's a bad guy, this crime lord, it's like, oh dang, like now I like it's just gonna suck because Peter Parker's life always sucks. You know what I mean? So so yeah, I mean I am really excited for a brand new day, and also the glaze of Black Cat is crazy, bro. Black Cat is low key overrated. I'm sorry, bro.
I don't know about that, but
I
a lot of people pretend that she's like a big bad, and she's not. She is. She's like a small time thief, and she's just a cool character.
Yeah. And when I say glaze, and that's exactly what I'm saying. People act like she could like carry a movie being a villain. Like she gives me a lot of like Selena Kyle vibes where she's kind of in the middle of like, you know what I mean? Like she's like that in between chick.
Fire from the Hip would definitely say something like that.
Oh, 100%. He probably has. He probably has said that. Black Cat is the big bad villain in Spider-Man 4. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro, for real. So yeah, man. But no, I mean, I do hope we get Black Cat in this. I think it'll be dope. But I still want to see who Sadie Sink's character is going to be, though. Because that's what I'm
that's an interesting one for sure.
Mm-hmm. And like, there's been no signs to who the heck she's playing, and that's what makes it fun because it seems like we always know who who these characters are. And I was like, it still shocks me that Destin Cretton, he came out to announce Spider-Man Brand New Day, but didn't announce who Sadie Sink is playing. It's like, that's weird. Super weird.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That is interesting.
Yeah. So maybe they'll tell us at Comic-Con. Like I know Marvel Studios isn't going crazy. They're not doing Comic-Con this year?
That's what people were saying.
What? Wow.
Yeah. And DC is.
That's not good. That's not good at all. That's not good.
I don't know.
Sorry, bro. I'm just shocked. I'm shocked. Sorry, I was just shocked for a moment. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. That's sorry, guys. That really just threw me off. Well, if that's the case, DCU just announced Batman, bro. Just do it. Trust. Yo, if Marvel Studios is not going, you have the floor. You announce your Batman, your Wonder Woman, your Flash, bro. Give us the whole league, bro. Just do it. I'm telling you, bro. Just do it. just announce everybody, bro. If Marvel, like, this is the perfect chance for the DCU to go crazy right now, bro. I see it. I see it. But that's crazy. I'm really shocked that Marvel Studios isn't going to be here. That's crazy. Okay. But when Jerry comes back, I'm gonna enter some of these chats. Where we at? 925. Okay, let's see. Hunger Almighty. Captain Marvel for female hero representation should have been what Black Panther was for black representation, but Brie Larson's personality along with writing just ruined it. Yeah, bro. Pretty much. That's what I've been saying. Marvel can afford to have their Avengers movies fail, which is why I wouldn't be surprised if you see T'Challa, Savage Hulk, a serious Thor, the return of Iron Man. So, yeah, bro, I do believe Iron Man is going to show up, and yes, they need all these characters for this to work. All right, you're back. 1 second. I'll answer this last question, then we'll get back to the docket. For Doomsday, the roster I'm thinking for the Avengers is Sam, Thor, Doctor Strange, Miss Marvel, Shang-Chi, Savage, Angry Hulk, Spider-Man, maybe Captain Marvel, Sentry, missing one. Well, I would take Sentry out because he's with the Thunderbolts or the new Avengers. I'm not sure if Miss Marvel is going to be in this, bro. Wait, was she announced? I don't even think Miss Marvel was on the casting seats either, so I don't really think she's going to show up. I think they're going to rest her for right now. And I say that more so because it seems like the Russos don't like Captain Marvel. And, like, if they bench her, they're definitely going to bench Miss Marvel. So we'll see. All right. Next topic here. And we have one more topic after this, and we are out of here. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this Michael Bay Superman stuff because this actually came out earlier today, and I was like, wow, that's really crazy. It came out 12 hours ago. So the Warner Brothers execs, they tried to push for a standalone Henry Cavill Superman film before James Gunn was hired and Michael Bay was eyed to direct. Jerry, let's just think about this is before James Gunn ever I don't say existed, but this is before James Gunn came into the picture. Would you have been interested in a Henry Cavill, Michael Bay Superman film?
I love Michael Bay. I really do. I just don't think he's the right guy for a Superman movie. I'm sure it would be fun and enjoyable, but like as a comic book fan, it's not what I want. I want someone like James Gunn who's going to make a comic accurate, faithful Superman file that's going to stand the test of time and not just going to be a blockbuster movie for the moment.
Yep, exactly. And that's what it seems like. That's the road that they were going to go if James Gunn didn't step in. Like it seemed like they were just going to go back to making these trilogy files. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That connect to nothing, and then there's going to circulate through the same people: Batman and Superman, and then every now and then we'll get Flash or this or that. You know what I mean? And it's like it would not have been the smart move.
Right. Totally agree.
Have you seen those TikToks where it's like? Or there's this YouTube, and I'll send you the link, but it was basically how The Rock tried to take over DC.
I don't know if I've seen the TikToks about it, but I've heard about it. And like, it's funny when you think about it, when the movie was coming out and he said the DC hierarchy is about to change.
Yeah.
Like,
There's new hierarchy.
It's like The Rock was like, can I play Superman? And they were like, you play Black Adam. Okay, Black Adam.
Yeah, right. He was like, can I be Superman or Batman? Nah, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna send you to Kandar, wherever it's called.
Who the fuck is Black Adam? The hierarchy is about to change.
Bro, that movie is so dope. That's a hilarious part. I love that movie. That movie is so fun to rewatch.
Yeah, I love it.
It's so senseless.
People act like we act like it's like an amazing, incredible. It's just a fun movie, man.
Yeah.
And like, also for the Snyder Cult, they turned on Henry Cavill when that movie came out. They were hating on him, and now they act like they're like, "Oh, bring it." Shut up! You guys are so full of shit.
Mm-hmm. They also didn't go see it. By the way, let's talk about Black Adam real quick, bro. Because Hawkman, come on, that suit, Dr. Fate.
Yeah,
bro, they cooked with Dr. Fate, bro. Dr. Fate was fly, bro.
What?
Yeah, getting Brosnan to do it. Come on.
Yeah, he was great.
Come on. Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. His wings were like freaking like it was like a maroon type of color that was going under it. It was gold, all gold suit. Come on, man. Come on, dog. Like some people might say it's trash, but those concepts were fire. One thing The Rock knows how to do is give fans great action. I will always say that, even if the plot sucks. By the way, he signed for another A24 file, bro. He's doing his thing out there, bro.
I saw that he's playing a wrestler, right?
No, so he signed for another file where he's playing like a businessman, but he's like a manipulator type guy. Yeah, which is your type of vibe, businessman, charismatic, manipulator.
Yeah,
that's kind of your
that sounds
kind of file.
It's up my alley for sure. I gotta watch that.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Okay, now last topic of the night here. Okay, and then we'll get the chats. The Batman 2, and this is another victory lap for you because so many people have been talking about how the Batman 2 is not happening. Okay, so the Penguin showrunner Lauren LaFranc says that there are other spinoffs for the Batman that are in the early stages of development. So I want you to just cook because so many people have been talking crazy.
Hearing the Snyder Cult say the Batman Part 2 isn't happening, but the spinoffs is going to be one hell of a take. Okay? Like you just sound ridiculous. If you think that DC was not going to make a sequel to the Batman that did 700 mil and had Penguin, whatever the show was called. Oh, it was called Penguin. Absolutely crush it, win awards. I think it even broke like viewership records. If you think they weren't going to make a sequel to this movie, you're out of your mind. And then James Gunn has said it like at least 10 times, reiterated that this movie is coming out. For him to say it so many times, if it doesn't happen, like his credibility will be shot. So I don't know. You got to know when to take people at face value and when not to. And this is one of the times that you got to take him at face value, just because how much is on the line with his credibility if it doesn't. So I don't know. I think it was a no-brainer that this movie was coming. I always said that, and somehow people are like shocked that it is. I think it's going to be great when it does. I can't wait. I love the first one. I'm glad it's having more spinoffs. They did a great job world building. And the more Batman, the better. He's the GOAT. So if we're going to get the Batman with more spinoffs, and we're also going to get Batman the Brave and the Bold with a Gotham in the DCU, like that is awesome. Bring me more Batman. I love Batman. And you can't do two Batmans at the same time. Well, you know what? They've had Detective Comics Batman and Batman comics going on at the same time for a really long time. And general audiences will get confused. That's a myth. General audience, if we can understand it, they can understand it. Like, you don't need to follow movie news on Twitter to understand that they're two separate Batman. It's like people like to make themselves sound smart. Like, audiences will get confused. Like, what? That doesn't even make sense.
People aren't
such a stupid, lazy, intellectually inferior take. When I hear someone say, general audiences will get confused, like, you lose credibility with me. You don't even think about the things that you're saying. It's crazy.
Exactly. And bro, it's like people can't say anymore, you just don't like it. Just say you don't like it.
Right.
It's that simple. But
exactly.
But they try to mental gymnastics around and make up this fans won't know. So are you calling fans dumb? Like, are you calling fans stupid? Because if someone tells me,
do they understand that Michael Keaton and Christian Bale are Batman in different movies? It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing.
I am more than sure my mother knows right now, and that David Cornsweet is not Henry Cavill's Superman. Continued. I could bet you $1,000 on that, guys.
It's stupid.
Oh gosh. Okay. I wanted to read
Spider-Man in the same movie, okay? And people understood that.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
It did 1.9 billion. So that had a lot of general audience.
Cooked. That comics point was great, though. That was a great point. Having Detective Comics and Batman comics.
I read both.
Saving that one.
Yeah.
That was fire. I wanted to read this quote. This has nothing to do with this, but you've talked about this, so I want to say this. It says, Michael B. Jordan says Denzel told him to stay offline to avoid overexposing himself to audiences. And he said that, and this was his exact quote: "Why would they pay to see you on a weekend if they can see you all week for free?"
It's a great point. It's like I always say, scarcity and not making yourself too easily accessible. So, it makes sense. And that's why you don't see guys like Denzel Washington doing Coca-Cola commercials.
Yeah, or dancing on TikToks.
Yes, definitely not.
Yeah, if I ever see Denzel dancing on a TikTok, then the world's just ending, bro.
Yeah, the incursion is coming.
Yeah, bro, the incursion is coming, and I'm going to the other Earth. I'm getting off this planet the second I'm out of here. All right, we're going to read these chats around here. If the Fantastic Four had a free for all, Sue wins, followed by Johnny, followed by Ben, followed by Reed. You think Sue just solos everybody? She is powerful, but I don't know.
Yeah, nah, Reed's winning.
I don't think she solos. Yeah, I don't think she solos because you also got to put Reed's mind into this. He's the smartest.
Exactly.
Like and so in the very first Fantastic Four live action movie, or the second one technically, with Chris Evans, Mr. Fantastic ran the ones with the Thing and cooked him with ease. You guys gotta watch that clip. I wish I would hear, but we would get a copyright strike because Fox sucks. Okay, Mo Man as a villain allows kaijus, which would be smart. Oh my gosh, this word kaiju is just haunting me, bro.
It's crazy. I never heard of it until Superman.
Yeah, bro. Ever since Slab Show, I've been just seeing the name kaiju everywhere.
Yeah.
Fun fact: when Marvel lost the rights to Godzilla in the 70s, they had him transform into a weaker beast, who eventually became under the control of Mo Man. Really? That's crazy. Who doesn't want to see another superhero movie after watching an awesome super movie? Facts, bro. Facts. And it's two different types too. Disney wants to take the winter back, but the summer has become very crowded. I'll tell you this: they are about to kill the summer of this year.
I do think Avengers is going to crush in the winter because, dude, families, holidays, like, oh man, and what if Spider-Man No Way Home did 1.9 billion, if Fantastic Four and Spider-Man go down as W's, could you imagine how big Avengers Doomsday is on a December release date? That would,
yeah,
I could see it doing like 2.3.
And bro, also imagine this, right? Imagine Fantastic Four does a Billy, Spider-Man does a Billy, then we have months of just no content. So fans are going to be hungry for a Marvel file, bro.
Yeah.
Like hungry for it. I mean, we get Supergirl, but from Marvel, they're gonna be pretty quiet. Which honestly, I think they need that, right? I think they need to be they need to be a little quiet and hang in the back. And then you pop out with Doomsday. Oh my god,
100%.
I think the morbid curiosity of how they could get the Fantastic Four right is going to get it to breaking the even line. Superherocuts with James Gunn's Superman movie budget is 225 million. Do you think it will surpass Man of Steel because Man of Steel got 670? I think it will surpass Man of Steel, bro. I really do. I think it's getting close to a Billy. Gladiator 2 with Denzel Washington's largest box office, LOL, which is wild to think about. Yes. I watched like a 20-minute video on Cillian Murphy's career. And basically what the whole entire breakdown was saying is that the way that Cillian, every time after Cillian does a big file, he does like 4 small ones. And the reason why is because Cillian wants to be able to do what the heck he wants when he wants to. And it kind of gives me a similar Denzel vibe. Not saying that every time Denzel does a big foul, he does a small one, but like imagine if you're getting a close, if not equal purse to what A-list actor gets or to what A-list actors get for big fouls, but you're just doing like smaller ones, you know. And plus, you guys also got to remember, like Denzel does like certified hood classics. You know what I'm saying? So the Denzel is a phenomenal actor, and he just has the privilege of doing whatever he wants. So shout out to him. He's not in the convo for A-list yet. Come on, Pedro. But it seems like he's the hottest name, and we know you make a good point. By he has to be good. It's not going to make or break. He's a big celebrity either way. It's not going to maybe make or break, but you have to understand that when it comes to taking big franchises like this, it puts you in a different level and category. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, like, and a lot of people and a lot of, sorry, go ahead, brother.
I was gonna, if you do a Fantastic Four movie where you're the headline star and that movie does 700 mil, it's a much bigger achievement and on your resume in Hollywood than The Last of Us breaking records or Mandalorian breaking records. You know, a successful blockbuster movie is a much bigger feat than a show on TV. It's almost like, you know, winning the Final Four versus winning the NBA Finals. Like it's a completely different elevated league when you're talking about a movie versus a TV show, which is also when I always say you got to, like when people are like, oh, Grant Gustin should be Flash for the DCU. Like Grant Gustin did a great job, but you're talking about a CW show that those skills don't necessarily cover the gap with the skill you need to have to deliver a box office smash hit blockbuster like The Flash will be expected to when it does come out in DC.
Exactly. And also think about this too. So there was an interview, I think it was with Straw Hat Goofy, and he asked Ryan Coogler basically, how did you get this movie? And he said, I have $1 billion movie under my belt and I haven't even directed 20 files. Think about that. He's talking about Black Panther 1. Like that is his pride and joy. And having that $1 billion movie under his belt, he uses it as leverage. Okay. when you have success like RDJ, do you know how much leverage that man has in Hollywood? He can do whatever he wants because he's the godfather of this. Chris Evans, he can do whatever he wants. Like that's and as an actor, that's what they want. They want the freedom to do whatever they want. Killian, after doing Oppenheimer, bro, he can do whatever he wants, bro. I think Fantastic Four will be rewatched either way because of Pedro. Well, because he's playing Reed, yes. It's crazy, but I'm the opposite of you guys. I'm super excited for Superman and was never really into the Fantastic Four like that.
A lot of people are like that.
Mm-hmm. But I do think that if the Fantastic Four is done right, you will be invested. Trust. Definitely going into Doomsday. Superman has been done better than the most. Even a week, even though you meant WEAK, even a weak Superman film is still a pretty okay film, bro. I still watch Man of Steel, so I mean,
yeah, I like Man of Steel,
except for Superman's 3 and 4. Yeah, we're not going to talk about Quest for Peace. Like, nah, bro. Anything that had the word quest like for peace, just count me out, bro. Superman is not my top 5 favorite heroes, but def top 10. Top 5 is Bat, Spidey, Cap, Flash, Wally, GL, Hal Jordan. Oh, I love Green Lantern too, bro. And bro, you have really made me like a diehard like Green Lantern fan, bro. Like I always knew he existed, but like you really got me into him, bro. Like he's
the man. People sleep on him.
Yeah, he is. He is fire. Superman is the template for all superheroes. It begins with him. Start your universe with Superman is comic book accuracy and its strongest. No better way for me to start than Superman. Yeah, true. One Piece
history, maybe, but that doesn't mean you need to necessarily start your universe with Superman.
I think
Marvel didn't start their history with or start the MCU with Fantastic Four or Spider-Man or anything like that, and they turned out, they killed it.
True, but I think it's super easy because with Superman you can connect him to cosmic beings, earthly beings. Like it's a pretty good even kill. So I see what he's saying, but you could have easily started this with Batman, and it even probably be even more probably will be even more of a proven success. Just saying, like if you started off with Brave New World, instant billion, instant. The One Piece shows how to make stretching creative. Yes, by the way, I am so excited for One Piece season 2. Jerry, did you want to give that announcement? I'm sorry.
Yes, we have a big announcement. We are launching Cinematics Cuts tomorrow night. We're going to be live 9 p.m. same time. 8 p.m. Central if you're like me, and we're going to be live. So it's going to be basically everything else that we don't cover on here. It's going to be action. It's going to be drama. It's going to be fantasy. It's going to be TV shows. We're probably going to even throw in video games, like everything else. If there's something you want us to talk about, let us know. We'll probably just add it because you're a fan and we fuck with you guys. So we're super excited about it. This is something we've wanted to do for a while, and we're excited to finally get it going and putting wheels on this motherfucker.
Hell yeah. Let's get it. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, John Walker, facts. Best part of Falcon in the Winter Soldier. You are not wrong, brother. We're not wrong. The game was apparently going to have you create a Wakanda to become the new Black Panther rather than playing as a child. Oh, that's bad. If true, yuck. Marvel saw the flops they had in the backlash of Shuri in the chairs, and now they want to make money. Facts. But I remember live. I crashed out about that live, bro. I think I broke something. I forget. Like I crashed out. By the time Doomsday comes out, it's going to be almost 10 years since Chadwick's death. These anti-recast people need to move on. Black Cat better be hot, otherwise no one's going to care about her in Brand New Day. Trust me, bro. They're going to do the casting. People will do their jobs. If Marvel actually makes Sadie Sink as MJ, I'm going to have a lot of respect for them because it takes balls to do that. Facts. DCU needs to announce the DCU Batman and Wonder Woman and show Lanterns. Bro, if they do this at Comic-Con, they will rule. And they need to go all out. Since if Marvel's not showing up, announce Batman, give us footage of Green Lantern flying in space. Oh my god, that would be insanity. All right. Rumor chats, we're out of here, guys. Michael Bay is another Zack Snyder. Nothing but show and spectacle and no story. His Transformers movies were great, but you need to turn your brain off when watching those because of the amount of plot. I'm dying of plot holes. Superherocuts, did you see now that the Skywalker Jedi says that James Gunn is waving the white flag? No, but now that you say that, I'm going to check and I'm going to troll that guy on X. Well, The Rock. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, The Rock was right about one thing. The hierarchy of the DC did change, not the way he envisioned facts. What do you say? Okay. If the Batman Part 2 gets canceled, then you basically might as well not do Elseworlds. Keeping the Batman crime saga shows that DC is willing to have an Elseworlds along with the main facts. And look, if it makes you money, why not, bro?
Yeah, I don't think that they would have to cancel Elseworlds entirely if they don't do it. Elseworlds, because not everything in Elseworlds is connected. So, like, if they were to do, an Apocalypse or New Gods type of movie or show in Elseworlds, like that isn't necessarily connected to the Batman Epic Crime Saga.
Yeah, and I see your comment, Mac. I'm going to link our Cinematic Cuts channel in a second. Hey, Jared, can you just answer these chats while I look our channel in here?
Yeah. So, I mean, they extended the date. So I don't think Part 2 is going to see another delay. It might. I think that, like, it's coming. I know everyone freaks out when we get delays now. But I feel like at this point, we've gotten so many of them from some of the most anticipated movies that we should all be trained in patience at this point. Let's see. What's the next comment? Okay. And hopefully the third is faster, but we'll have to wait and see. Agreed. If only we could have seen Jay Garrick and Alan Scott, even just picture. I love the Golden Age, and Jay is actually my favorite Flash. Justice Society is so cool. I really like Alan Scott. Jay Garrick's cool. I think he's got to lose the helmet. I think that characters get updated costumes to stay relevant. I know the argument is that he's supposed to be, a long forgotten hero. Yeah, you could still lose the helmet and keep the rest of the outfit, and I think he would still fit that role just fine. But I'm not a big Jay Garrick guy, so maybe the Jay Garrick core fans disagree with me on that.
All right, by the way, guys, hold on, bro. 1 second. The channel is linked and starred. So if you just click where it says www.youtube.com/cinematic-videos, just tap that link and you will automatically be able to go to our channel and subscribe, and you're ready for tomorrow. Sorry, bro.
No worries. I hate when movie know-it-all say that GA or fans don't understand things. Like, stop treating them as dumb people like your guy. I totally agree, and I think they do it. Like, there's a couple of reasons they do it, but I think one of them is to make themselves feel special, like they are an elite fan and they are above the general audience. It's like, it doesn't make you better than someone that you're a bigger fan of a fictional universe, and they definitely don't need to watch podcasts like ours to understand that Christian Bale and Robert Pattinson are not the same person. I think more and more actors should stay away from social media. Like, the internet has gotten to the point of being unbearable. I totally agree. And I think that they do a lot more harm to themselves, to the movies, and general public than good. All right. Stevie, you want to take it from here, or you want me to do it? I can do it if you want.
Bro.
All right.
I got you, brother. The reason I put Sentry in the Avengers lineup is because I feel like the flop of the Thunderbolts, there's a chance that the role will be significantly decreased outside of Bucky and Sentry. Interesting. I mean, like, I wouldn't mind Sentry being on it because he gives a lot of power to to that squad. So we would have to see. I just don't want no like depression talk like while he's fighting someone. Like, I want him to be an actual hero. 2.3 bill for Avengers Doomsday. I don't know about all that. A bill guaranteed, bro. It's very possible it can make 2 bill, bro. Trust. Maker is one of the deadliest men in Marvel comics. So I mean, read Reed crushes them if he went all out. I have friends that told me why is Supergirl the second movie and Lance Orange is getting a show. Okay, so we aren't insane. Okay, when it should be the opposite. Supergirl a show while Green Lantern is the second movie of the DCU facts. Or just not do Supergirl at all and just involve her with Superman. Green Lantern, even though he's a A-lister, he's so underappreciated facts. To be fair, they didn't have the rights, but I hear you. The rights to what? Keep on keeping, boys. Watch you for your talent and genuine convo on everything super. Thank you, bro. Man, we spend a lot of time studying and reading comics and we conversate all day about this stuff. So we're happy that you guys are like enjoying it.
And I've seen you, Meek. I know you've been around for a bit, so we appreciate you.
Facts. Talk about Mobland, and if you have to watch Mobland, best show of the year. Jerry, didn't you talk about that or no?
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that. I'm gonna throw that on. I am gonna watch Mobland. I'd say I've been on my list, but I'll put it up. I'll bump it up. I just started Severance, which I love. Your Friends and Neighbors, which I have like 10 minutes left of the finale, but Your Friends and Neighbors is elite. It's on Apple TV. It's amazing. Definitely check it out.
Looks like Apple's putting out some sleepers for real.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Willing the channel. One more thing. One more thing for the night. If Marvel's not going to have an appearance at Comic-Con, do you think DC could take it as like the large event? I do think so. And if Superman does great in box office, that's the perfect time to use that hype to
imagine they have a Batman cameo and they go to Comic-Con with David Cornsweet and the new Batman actor. Like, that would be insane.
Yeah. Imagine a stage with Aaron Pierre, Kyle Chandler, Cornsweet, Batman. Come on, bro. Like, oh. And fans might erupt to where that they might become the freaking big three, John, Bruce, and Clark. And then kind of off topic, but do you guys know any good Superman comics?
I would do Superman by Peter Tomasi. Peter J. Tomasi is really good. Everyone's going to tell you All-Star Superman because that's really hyped because James Gunn is pulling inspiration from the movie. Superman Birthright is a great place to start. I would do Superman Birthright, and then I would go into Tomasi. Superman Birthright's great because it's like a definitive modern telling of his origin and who he is as a character. And I think it's like 12 issues. And then I would do Peter Tomasi, and after Peter Tomasi, like all the runs that come after him. But you could do Birthright, which will get you up to speed, get you familiar with the character. And then after that, once you do the Peter Tomasi run, all the runs that come after it are pretty good. And you'll be like in the current of Superman and have read the most recent run. So you'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I have a new 52 Superman order that is on my list of hitting soon.
Nice.
So yeah, I was like, there's like a few stuff. Wait, let me pull up my comic book reading list that I have right now. So yeah. I do have Superman.
What have you been reading lately?
So honestly, I have been taking a break from comics and I've been reading novels. Right now, so let me pull this out. So right now, I've been reading this. I've been like on a J.R.R. Tolkien craze at the moment. It's called The Children of the Hern, and it's basically like a spinoff of the Lord of the Rings books. For some reason, I've been in like that mode. But I know when I come back, I really want to finish Moon Knight. Like I really want to finish that, and I really want to read and I really want to dig deep into like you really got me hooked. I really want to check out Dan Slott because you've been saying some really good things about him. So I do want to see some of those comics, and then I want to read some old school Fantastic Four because ever since you sent me, I think it was like Galactus' ship, it's been kind of like on my mind. So there's just a few comics that I kind of want to do. So I'm probably gonna finish that book by the end of the week, and next week I'm probably gonna jump back into comics.
All right,
go heavy. Yeah, man. Nice. So Like, and that's the good thing about comics is like because like I feel like I was like reading a lot and I kind of just needed like to just read something else. But like there's so many endless stories you can read that it's like I won't say it's a contest, but it's like you're running up a hill and you'll never get to the top of the hill. So
yeah, it's
like
like an endless universe, and it's amazing.
Mhm.
And you're always learning more about these characters and the lore. It's so cool.
Exactly. So, but all right, y'all. Hope you guys have a great night. Stay crispy, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.